All right, let's talk about something that's a huge deal in professional skincare, but, can also sound a little intimidating. Chemical peels. Today, we're going to peel back all the layers, pun intended, and get into the science, what the process is really like, and what results you can actually expect. Let's get right into it. So just think about this for a second. What if you could literally peel away stuff like sun damage or those stubborn marks left behind by acne or even fine lines and reveal this smoother, brighter skin that's been hiding underneath? Well, that's pretty much the promise of a chemical peel, and we're about to find out how that's even possible. Okay, so at its most basic level, a chemical peel is a controlled, professional procedure. A very specific solution gets applied to your skin, not to hurt it, but to intentionally get rid of those outer damaged layers. But the real magic, the part that's so cool, is that this whole process kicks your skin's own repair system into high gear. It stimulates what's called cellular turnover, bringing fresh, healthy new cells right up to the surface. So a great way to think about it is like a controlled reboot for your skin. It's a method that pros use to tackle some of the most common skin complaints out there in a really, really targeted way. And honestly, the list of things they can improve is pretty wild. We're talking about hyperpigmentation, where the peel literally lifts off those discolored top layers. For acne, some acids are amazing at clearing out pores and calming inflammation. And for stuff like fine lines and just general rough texture, getting rid of that dull outer layer makes your skin look way smoother and more radiant. But how in the world does a chemical solution manage to do all that? Well, to get the how, we've got to do a quick refresh on the where, the basic structure of our skin. The main thing to get here is the epidermis. That's the star of the show. While our skin has these three main layers, almost all chemical peels are designed to work right on that top layer. It's the one we see, the one we touch, and it's where most of the visible stuff we don't like, sunspots, rough patches, actually lives. And this right here explains everything. See, your skin is already renewing itself all the time. A brand new skin cell takes about a month to travel from the very bottom of the epidermis all the way to the top. A chemical peel is basically like hitting the fast forward button on that natural cycle. It forces a quick, controlled shedding of the old, tired cells to get the new, fresh ones to the surface way faster. Now, and this is super important, this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It's much more like a menu with different levels of intensity for different goals. You can go for anything from a light little refresh to a full-on deep reset. So peels are basically broken down by how deep they go. You've got your superficial peels. These use gentler acids you've probably heard of, like glycolic or salicylic acid, and they just work on that very top layer, the epidermis, perfect for dullness or mild acne. Then you step it up to medium peels. These use stronger stuff like TCA to go a bit deeper into the upper part of the dermis to really tackle things like pigmentation and fine lines. And then you have the deep peels. These use a very powerful acid called phenol that can reach way down into the mid-dermis for serious damage. But these are a big deal and require some serious medical supervision. This quote right here says it all. This is exactly why going to a professional is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to match the right chemical and the right depth, not only to your specific concern, but also to your skin type and tone. A pro knows how to do this to get you the best results and, more importantly, to avoid complications. Okay, so you did your homework, had your consultation, and you're ready to go. What actually happens when you're in the chair? Let's walk through it, because it's probably a lot less scary than you think. It's a really deliberate 5-step process. So after all the prep work, your skin is cleaned like you've never cleaned it before to get rid of any oils. Then the solution is carefully painted on. And the whole time, the professional is watching your skin's reaction like a hawk. Right at the perfect moment, they neutralize the acid to stop the reaction in its tracks. And the final, crucial step is putting on a soothing product and, of course, a high SPF sunscreen. But here's the thing. The treatment doesn't end when you leave the office. Not even close. The results you get are just as dependent on what you do at home afterwards. The aftercare part is everything. Let's set some real expectations here. Right after your peel, your skin's probably going to feel tight and look a little red, kind of like a sunburn. But then a few days later, the peeling and flaking starts. And you know what? That's the good part. That's the old skin making way for the new. After about a week or so, the flicking dies down, and that's when you really start to see that fresh, glowing skin coming through. So to get through that recovery phase and get the best results, you've got to follow the golden rules. SPF 50 or higher every single day. This is not optional. Your new skin is like a baby's. It's so vulnerable. You have to be super gentle. That means no picking at the flakes, no scrubbing, and no using any other exfoliating stuff. Just simple, gentle cleansers and lots of hydrating moisturizer until you're all healed up. And what about those really deep phenol peels we mentioned? Well, that big number 1 on the screen is there for a reason. For most people, a deep peel is a single, powerful, one-time treatment. It's a major league reset that can give you incredible, long-lasting results for severe damage. But it's also a serious medical procedure that requires weeks of downtime and is always, always done by a doctor. So it's pretty clear that chemical peels are this fascinating, powerful tool that lives at the intersection of chemistry and biology. They kind of remind us that sometimes to renew the skin, you first have to create a very controlled wound. And that kind of forces you to ask a pretty important question. In this quest for perfect skin, where do we draw the line between renewal and risk? I think the answer really lies in being knowledgeable, getting professional guidance, and just having a huge amount of respect for your skin's amazing ability to heal itself.